guys, I just wanted to talk to you today about indoctrination and conditioning and all of the complicated stories that can come along in life that so many people are pressured into by their peers, by their parents, by their pastors. And it's important to remember that you came from a higher place of understanding, of acceptance, of love, of nourishment, of refreshment, and that no one can really take that away from you. If you believe that they can, you're just making a fool of yourself, okay? And to say that, while this may be controversial to some, to say that hell is an everlasting place that you have to live if you are taking this path that is destined towards it is a flat out lie, guys, okay? I want you to stop believing that hell is the place that you go when you die if you have made enough mistakes or specific types of actions where your life has been defined by this torture and by this hatred that you can't escape from. It's like this fear tactic, it's this control tactic, but the whole reason it works in the first place is because people tend to put themselves in this position where they say, I am weak, I am unqualified, I can't think for myself, I need your direction, I need your guidance, my moral compass is out of whack, and I need you to tell me what standards are fit for my life, even though I'm the one living it, even though I'm the one who is responsible for myself and to myself and the other people that I interact with each and every day. The God that I believe in, I was told God is love. And it's so weird to me because I was also told I need the fear of God in my life. And I kept asking, I was like, what does that even mean? I was struggling to grasp it and to grapple it. And I'm like, how deep can I really take that and understand? Can it even work on a surface level? Because as I know fear, it makes you like overcome with this feeling that you have to be something that you're not meant for. And that's why it's such a big struggle for so many people when they try to live with fear of God in their hearts, is because fear does not reside in your hearts, guys. It does not reside in your soul. It is something that breaks down the system. If you realize, stress and fear go hand in hand. But it's something that you can get past. And you can get to a place of dignity and respect. And some people say fear of God is the same thing as dignity and respect, but it's not. You don't need to be scared of your parents because they raised you or because they gave you life. If they set you on the right path, you would know that they love you and that they want good things for you. They want you to get what you need, what you deserve from life. And not to be scared to ask for it. Not to be scared to set yourself up for the right environment to get it. So that's something I want you guys to dismiss, okay? I like to follow nature a lot and realize that the only time that there is fear in nature, it's constructed from the ground up. It's imaginary, okay? If fear were a real creation, you would know an animal named Fear, a person named Fear. It would be obvious to you. It would evolve to the point where it can survive, but there's no such thing out there. Have you ever thought about that before? There's no such thing as an animal called fear. So why should we live our life like that when it hasn't been sustainable to start? Don't believe these lies that you need to be scared of God or of love. That you need to be scared of people being spiritual. You don't need to be scared of witches either, okay? If someone used what they call Bane magic and try to harm someone, that's a struggle of their own, but it doesn't make them out to be someone that you need to like totally tiptoe around. That it's not like destiny for you that you have to approach that way. You can say that's not the path that I want to take in my life, but I'm okay being familiar with it. I'm okay understanding that some people have that, and it's not scary for me to see that in another person, because someone muttering under their breath doesn't stop me from eating a good fruit or from laying down in my bed. It doesn't stop me from hugging my loved ones. The only person who can stop you from that is yourself, by making a hell in your own mind. And that is something that I do believe in, is that the closest thing to hell is not the indoctrinated version. It's not the construct of fire, of brimstone. Why is brimstone bad anyways? Why is fire bad anyways? Honestly, it can be limited, or it can like have an environment where it's actually helpful. Like, you realize, like, we came to electricity after finding fire. You're using your phone or your computer or tablet or whatever as an extension of fire, but that doesn't mean that you have to be in hell because of it. Those things are totally unrelated. It's just that, honestly, people have walked across the coals before unscathed because they had the right sort of way that they carry their energy. If you are totally freaking out and you don't know which way to go because you assume, you expect that it's going to hurt you no matter what, you're probably not going to make it without some burns. It's a test of faith, of knowing, of understanding the elements, of understanding this world for what it is. And understanding and refreshment is like all there is. All there is that is real. So people tell you that you can't be everything that you want to be. You can't be this airbender, this firebender. Says who, guys? Honestly, I know to some people it may seem a little controversial, a little abstract, or you're gonna get in trouble for saying this. Oh my God. You need to repent. No. The God I believe in is one of love. And I heard God is love. Love is everlasting. Love conquers all. Love is patient. Love is kind. Those things are great. It gives us the opportunity to let time take its course, to be equipped, and for us to share with one another. And in sharing with one another, we can become even more equipped. You know, you can really learn so much from people, and it's not just about honor your father and your mother, respect your elders. Those stuff are great if they have the right headspace. You don't need to hold on to this idea that you have a void in you just because you are young, just because you didn't go to college as long, or because you dropped out of school, or because maybe someone called you fat one day. Like, you are who you are, and that's perfect. And your heart, it can be filled. That is its natural state, is to be filled with love and understanding. It takes care of your body and your feelings. A lot of it comes from your blood and the way it moves through your body. It's a good life force for you to recognize. More than an invisible God in the sky telling you that you can't cuddle with someone that you're not married to because, oh no, what if you slip and fall? What if you stumble in the middle of the road and You accidentally have sex. Like, guys, I was told that before. I couldn't cuddle with my boyfriend. I'm just like, it's just like a nice long hug. We're just holding each other and comforting each other. We're telling each other it's going to be okay. And we're releasing the fear of intimacy, of going deep. And I don't have to procreate in order to experience that. You know, neither do you. Sex can be tricky for some people to talk about because it is so intimate and it is so transformative when done right. But it's also natural for us to experience some sort of desire for that. And I'm still figuring out exactly where that comes from. I will get back to you if I am able to think on that a little bit more clearly, but you don't even have to be scared of that itself, okay? Sex is a beautiful, loving thing. It has so much potential to be. Don't carry around guilt and shame. It's one thing to say that something wasn't the best fit for you. It's like another thing entirely to say that you need to feel like you have gone back to the dust yourself and you have gone back to the ashes, which you can rise from, by the way. You can renew yourself again. But it's knowing that you still have that blood in you. You still have movement and fulfillment, you know? And so just think about what you can do with that. Just like you think about how can you carry your breath? How can you use this ever-changing energy? You don't stay stuck. You don't totally block up. So don't do that in your head either. Don't assume that your heart is doing that. Don't assume that your gut is doing that. Give yourself a chance to move on from everything that you were told that limits your potential. Every lie that you've been told that makes you feel that shame and guilt, and that tells you that you have a place in hell. Every single one that says that you are not good enough to come to heaven, which is the union of God and the bride, of love and the bride. Do you think about that and what that means for sexual experience for people who love each other? It's already a done deal. You're already here. You were already conceived. If you want to live that for yourself and you're doing so legally, I add legally because I understand there is a society and there is expectations of what's okay. I don't want you to have to be forced into this situation where you all of a sudden are locked up and have to go without creature comforts for so long. You could end up a better person for it. But I don't know, maybe it's a gamble too because your freedom, you know? But it's interesting because I was locked up for years, not just even in jail, but in my room being grounded by my parent. And I still found a way to have freedom for myself on the inside. So don't even believe that your life would be totally doomed, even if that were the case. I still sang when I was locked up. I still found a way to eat and enjoy when I had my meals and to say my prayers. This whole thing of indoctrination into a God, it's being broken lately, okay? And people are starting to believe now that God is love. A lot of people say he's unconditional love, or that he just aligned the stars for us and the stars show us the way. Astrology has been pretty big lately. Astronomy, especially, because that kind of covers all of it. But yeah, just think about what is the true reasoning and the true direction and the true purpose behind people telling you that you can't do something, telling you in school you are destined to work at McDonald's because you got an F on this one. Maybe you were just telling it how you saw it. Maybe, like, I felt like, oh, my teacher wants me to lie about my beliefs before because I was taught evolution in school when I told them, please don't cover that. Because I was in a religion that I'm like, that's a very touchy subject. We don't know how much you consider us to have grown as a species or how old the earth is. And so I told them, I don't want to be graded on this. It's unfair because of my religious beliefs. And they really got into it. And they did put some tests out there. And I tried to kind of cater it to meet both sides. But that took a lot of mental preparation. I had to question myself a lot on where I wanted to stand in between what my family raised me with and what I was learning at school. There were a lot of differences there when you really opened it up. But the more I opened it up on either side, I realized that no matter if I had all of the answers or not, I wanted to pick the side that I could be successful with. Because I believed that my God wanted me to be happy. And so it became less about following a timeline of, don't know if there were dinosaurs or not, but there was Adam and Eve, and then there was this line of people and that line of people, and da 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 da. It became less about that and more about, look how rich our history is in general, no matter how you want to label it. Look how many things we've accomplished and how many people have lived. A life is a precious thing. And even just the earth itself, I believe there's life in that too. And I'm not saying that it's unconscious either. Maybe someday I can get to the point where I feel myself exchanging true, pure energy with nature, as if we're having a back and forth conversation. I mean, I've talked to myself already when I was in nature, so why not? Feeling inspired, and I'm like, is this the direction of the trees wanting me to take this here? I just felt like a different person than when I was in the city. It was almost tangible because my posture changed, my breathing changed, my whole attitude changed. I felt like a kid again. And I was healing my inner child, and I think that kind of moment is more important than sitting down and saying that Noah made an ark. Great for him. What am I going to do? I mean, cool. I'm glad if that actually is true, that someone accomplished something so big. But you start questioning things like, why did the flood happen? Oh, because everyone was evil in the world except for the family. Really? Good luck with that one. I don't see it. Good luck meaning I hope you find a real answer. Yeah, I don't want to step on too many toes, but some of your shoes are a little too tight and you keep blaming us for doing the uncomfortable feelings onto you. And that's why I was attracted to people who are like, I'm a clown. My feet are huge. I mean, my shoes are huge. Sorry, my feet are average. Or maybe they are big and my shoes are even more ginormous. That's kind of what it seemed like. They had hobbit feet. But no matter what direction you take in life, you gotta know a direction. If you put that in mathematical terms, it's a point, a line, and an arrow. It doesn't just start and stop. It's infinite. We've discovered this already. We are the ones who stop and make points, and we turn and we change the, I don't want to say direction again, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we could go south instead of north or something. That's our choice because we make a point. But if we were not to do that, we'd go in the same direction forever. But it's still infinite. As long as life is on this earth, and who's to say it doesn't go beyond that, honestly? I could probably think more about math and figure that out again, but that's a fair stopping point too. Because I don't expect all life is going to end while I am alive. A lot of people don't believe that either. So the other thing, like Armageddon. So who exactly is starting this war and what exactly is it about? They're telling you it's about the dignity of being able to go to heaven. And that everybody else has to fight for their lives and end up in hell. No, thank you. I'm going to pass on that belief. Yeah, there are still experiences in this world that people call war. And buildings are demolished. And fire still burns people. Yeah, it happens. But what's the point, really? It's just you grow up at some point and you realize you can't be small-minded anymore. You can't put yourself in a billion different cups and tell each person to just take a sip out of each one. Like, you're trying to turn yourself into some fractal energy that doesn't even want to touch itself. What is your life going to look like? What are you going to look like as a spiritual being? I don't understand that one yet. But, I mean, It's just to me because we can still explore so much that it doesn't have to stay like that. Even if you were like that at one point and it seems justified to you and you're like, I'm really glad that I had that experience, actually. I'm proud of you that you are able to open yourself up enough and to apply yourself enough to actually be able to get there. I'm not knocking on it just by itself, but it's staying there. It's just like, it seems like a waste of time to me, you know? Why are you going to put the whole ocean of your life into a million different cups and then try and sell them when you could just have the ocean? When you could have fish, you could have seaweed. You're not going to get that from a tiny little cup. There's a reason we have abundance. It's so life can continue to grow. Do you want to kill God? Do you want to kill abundance of life? Honestly, think about it. I still want there to be an opportunity for us to look at fish or swim with them, or if we can handle it, eat it. Salmon is pretty tasty to me. But if I didn't get to and all I got to do was just admire its pink color, yeah, that's pretty cool too. You see, they even swim uphill. And that's something very inspirational to me. There are things that other creatures and other animals do that we've told ourselves is too much for us. Do you know how long they travel for? I forget right now, but animals do this. And we're mammals ourselves, so what is that really saying? They've evolved. And yeah, they keep on their journey and they keep persisting on that. Their direction is more focused than a lot of people, which I find interesting. That's a big deal in the animal fans and protector of their rights, is that they can be single. We talk about singleness in a relationship, and it's like, you really got that down yet? Are you secure in your purpose then, living a single life? Are you happy with yourself, is what I'm asking. Because for me, like, I'm really happy being around other people who love me. But if I had to do this alone without that support, things would be a lot different. And like animals, like they may exist around each other, but they keep going on their own thing. And yeah, some of them die in the process. Or if we were kind neighbors to each other, maybe we would clean the mold off the gills. Maybe we would feed a little extra if we got a bigger meal than the other person, if that meal would have gone to waste. And we have evolved in a really great way for having that option. But it also keeps our species going for longer. To what end? Are we going to make use of that? Or are we just giving ourselves a bigger cushion so our ass will get bigger? What are we going to do with that ass? Really? And what are you going to do with your arms and your legs? Are you going to climb mountains and hug strangers? Or are you going to punch someone in the face and swipe their leg? And yeah. I mean, the choice really is yours. And God will let you live anyways. We decide a lot where the line is drawn for ourselves as a community. And we're allowed to do that. It's amazing that we can set our own rules. But what is the right choice in this? There's so many different ways that this could go. So instead of arguing with that and drawing lines here, 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 until it's black on and you can't even see. Okay, really, like, I used to have this app where you could scribble and draw in all these different rainbow colors. And if you did it a couple times, it looked cool, like fireworks or something. But if you did it for like 5 minutes straight, you wouldn't be able to see what's underneath. And sure, yeah, in real life, like, you can take things back. You can like scratch at the surface a little bit, uncover some of the colors that you already put. I'm not saying it's going to look the same or different or anything. It really just depends, but that's still an option for us to be able to change our mind. Especially if we decide that we're going to be better than the home that we were in. That's where a lot of that comes from, is being unsatisfied with your environment. Well, your environment means a whole heck of a lot. It's the foundation. It's the background. You consider a blank canvas, it's where everything is going to come from. Everything is going to go. Sorry, the coming comes from within, but like, in like the tools that you have in this life, which starts within. And in the body that you were given, in the life that you were given. If that makes sense. Like, you're holding the paint based on, well, the primary colors are your beliefs. And so you can get a lot of work done with that. And question, you know, that mixes things up. And the more mixed it is, the more it becomes a new color. But the basic thing, the thing that everybody starts with, is that you have your own beliefs. Even when you're a little kid, before you can really understand any of the ways to put it into words that other people will hear you and say a response. You know, sometimes we're just ignored as kids. We say goo goo gaga, and then the other person's like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever that meant. Or they say their own thing and they're like, yeah, I like spaghetti too. What? That's not what I was saying. Maybe if you're like super psychically connected, then you understand them, but most of the time as kids, we grow up and we're told so many things that don't even make sense to what we were experiencing. Someone just said they did. And then we find out the definitions of all of these words. The energy that they actually intended, it's not a right fit for us. That happens so much. Indoctrination does it to you all the time. Mostly in religion and school. In community, it happens a lot, but I don't want you to dismiss community, because community helps us so much. But you have to come into it with the right values. So if all you start with is love or kindness or understanding, that's a really good foundation. Just to keep it simple for you guys. I want you to remember these things, and that you do not have to make a fool out of yourself for any longer than you realize that you can do your own work on your own energy. And you can use the words that make the most sense to you, and you are not forced by anyone to freak out and to say things that are totally out of line for your character, for your environment that you have within. And that you always have a chance to find the right words and to find the truth for yourself. This has been such a long one, but I really am so happy that you guys are listening to this and making the right difference in your life that you need to. Or just to remind yourself what it's like a little bit. And to have understanding for other people who have been going through it too. Thanks for listening. I will make a part 2 if I have the time, but that's all for now. Draw on your canvas using the truth. Thanks for listening.